Okay, so here we are, finally. This is the episode number 7 of this podcast known as the Astronaut Nature, and the name and the subject matter and the reason for my strange accent has already been explained, so I will assume that we don't need to go over that again. In the case you need to know any of that, I invite you to visit the previous installment. Otherwise, if you are okay with whatever information might be delivered within the time of this particular episode, stick around and we'll get to some very interesting clarification of whatever we need to clarify or consider. So yeah, I'll see you in a little bit, or I hear you, or you hear me, or whatever it is that gets you to a point of having your mind sort of like calm, okay? Because I'm sure there's gonna be someone who is gonna say,
you know what I mean? You will talk to me later, or you will be here in a few somehow, but I don't think I can see you,
etc. You know, like when you say, see you tomorrow, and somebody says,
but it is already tomorrow.
When you wanna kill them, but you don't. You understand that their mind is requiring that negotiation because we are that little piece of machinery, whether we like it or not. That's what the machine does. Has the freedom to decide if it likes to be called a machine. Anyways, that's kind of like the vibe of this thing. We'll see you, we'll hear you, we'll talk to you. So here we are. This is the main portion of the podcast where I sort of investigate and try to come to a conclusion or a clarification of something that I am actually, let's say, finding out how to communicate as I am doing the conversation with myself, so I can keep myself entertained. You know how it goes. If you are motivated to find out how it ends or how it continues, you will keep your attention to the thing, right? And I am really curious about what's going to be the next step of the evolution of this communication, because it does has a life of its own in a way. So let's take it from here and let's go to the 1, 2, 3, 4 points that are important to consider in order to keep this alive and something worth to pay attention to, or to have it at least in the background, Where did you come from?
Okay, I came from the city.
Before that,
I came from this family.
or maybe you would name any other place before reaching your family level. And when we get to your family, I will keep asking you, and you have to continue answering in the most basic type of way.
Well, nobody knows, and this and that, blah, blah, blah.
You have to say what is your understanding. Your understanding through the filter of your logical reasoning. Your most basic intelligence, the one that you use to close a door, grab a glass of water, or something like that. Stuff that is non-negotiable, it is what it is. So that has to be your answer. And we get to the point when I ask you, where do you come from? Before you were here, before you existed as a person, or the one person we know now. And you probably will have to answer the same thing that I will answer. I don't know. Okay? I don't know. I don't have any memory previous to that. I don't even have the notion of any of the stuff that I'm saying, or nothing. Like, I do not have anything related to existence before that, whether because I don't have those memories or because I didn't exist. The one thing that we know is that all your senses, all your perceptual tool box. It was here before. It was here represented in other things and through other things, through other people. You don't have a memory of that, but you understand that that's the case, and we all do sort of like believe in that. There is no big contradiction with that, except for the fact that we were not here. But we sort of understand. We do not know why we do have a memory that can literally sense the existence of this before and have the sense of maybe if we are not here, this will continue. But while we are not here, none of that is anything to us, and we are nothing to those things at all. We have things like explanations that have to do with some esoteric or mystical detours of justification. I guess it's our mind, and our mind wants to know. I guess it's our mind. Something wants to know. Something keeps asking and keeps wondering. And that's also something that we do not have an idea. Why is there? Where did it come from? We have a lot of different explanations, and even the fact that we have so many different explanations is proof through the logic that we use that there's something to maybe investigate there. None of these questions is literally a particular point that we can remember. When did it start or anything. We did not bring anything here. If you have to use your most basic intelligence, not the one that will contradict your religion or whatever, just your basic one, just because you can. You have to be able to explore your mental real estate. You are using your brain 100% all the time. What you are not using all the time is your access. You have the skill of having access to certain things. And because you've been told otherwise, and because you are following a certain school of thought, in a way, you are not getting there because everything within that packet of information and cultural details will also prevent you from living that particular library of knowledge. We do have in our perceptual capacity the awesome skills of exploring many libraries, naturally keeping with you whatever is useful for your experience. That's it. Where did you come from? Now try to hear that question and do not answer that question. Just make sure you understand the question. Where did you come from? Now, ask yourself, and do not answer because you are asking a part of yourself that knows how to hear this and know how to talk and knows how to walk and knows how to keep your heart beating and all that. That part, you are asking that part. Where do I come from? And if the question makes any sense, or it can be formulated some other way, in the most basic way that you know how to do this, with the tools that you have, you will ask this. Where did I come from? So whatever the answer is, it is not for everybody. It's just for you. Because we get that answer when we really want to know. And you will ask this question and your question will be heard if you really want to know. If it's just something, it might nothing happen, whatever. But if you really say, I don't have any other way to say this, I don't have any other way to do this, but I really want to know. And I don't know if this is enough, but I really want to know. Okay? And just leave it there. Leave it in your awareness. Do not do anything about it. Do not help the answering. Okay? Alright, so we are about to go over the last segment of this podcast. This one was a long one, but very rich in information and happiness. I feel a certain vibe that it only came with this one episode, and I like it. What I have to say before I say goodbye and thank you is nothing before this, no news about the after. The reality is that this is it. So I highly recommend you to take advantage of that. Because now is what you have. And there's nothing, absolutely nothing missing. No matter how miserable, how happy, how stupid, how brilliant you might be, all those things are perfect. Existence is exactly the same as perfection. So think about that question and think about the importance that it has. For example, having the possibility of asking in a very gentle way, just in case it might be possible and therefore interesting to consider. How about aging the way we know it? It's just changing, and those changes can be actually customized instead of just by default. Because let's face it, my friends, there is nothing new about being young if only happens by default. There's nothing wise about being old if you don't have an effing choice, right? But there is a way. Yes, there is a way because we are the player and the game. And that's the reason why we have all these big questions for the taking. Because we are this very same nature in the making. That's it. Thank you so much. Check for the contact information in any of the platforms that you are having access to the Astronaut nature. And if you really want to send me a message or connect with me, you will find the way. See you soon. Thank you. There's nothing new about